Hey everybody! Playing around in the woods with different materials like wood, birch bark, hemlock or spruce roots for lashings, you start to get different ideas as far as shelter building. And I've got some drawings here of some of my favorite primitive shelter designs that if I were to go off grid and have kind of a bigger project, these are some of the things that I would do. I have a video about an emergency in a winter shelter, which is a ridgepole design. You can see right here I've made a little shed there as well for stacking wood. But even the traditional with Y branches, the ridgepole design, and then putting debris or sticks against the ridgepole, that's a really easy way to go. And I'm going to put a link here in the video of a shelter that I made in about 3 hours that way that lasted at least a year, including in the winter. But so I used to think a lot along these lines, TP, close to the ground ridgepole. Same thing here, Y branches, close to the ground. You can do it that way with just kind of one side there. Little lean-to shelter there. But then I really started getting hip to bending oak. It's so easy to bend, young saplings or even branches of red oak, say about like that much in diameter, and it's just wicked strong wood. And you see, you could bend a frame and lash it up at the top where all your pieces intersect, and you could either bury your frame in the ground, set that in a few inches in the ground, or you could build a log foundation with chinks in it and then secure your bent frame inside that foundation. That way you would not have to bury your poles, and the structure would probably last longer because even though red oak is pretty rot resistant, keeping this stuff above the ground, as long as it was secured in some nice logs like that, may be a better way to go. So here are some of the materials I like to use. I was thinking waxed hemp or birch bark as a covering to the frame, but you see I like using a white or red oak. Willow, if you have access to willow, it's just a great material, really bendable. For example, here's a wicker basket I made last fall. It's actually one of my first baskets I ever made. Actually, it has some red twig dogwood mixed in there. But primitive basket making is a lot of fun, and this willow is just so pliable. It's almost waxy, but check that out. And I actually use this basket, as you can see, for just household stuff, but it's a great building material as well. So again, my frame would be oak in something like this. I would lash the top or the apex of the frame with hemlock roots or spruce roots. Very good stuff. I guess I could also use willow for that, but spruce roots are really the best. And you see I've got a stove pipe I could put in there, maybe with some aluminum flashing around that side of the structure. And then just some other little ridgepole drawings I made here. Kind of here like recessing a stone hearth in the back of a shelter away from the building materials. Or of course you could use a smoke hole on the top of any of these structures and then use what's called a Dakota fire pit, where you dig a pit in the ground right here and then you have a vent coming out of the pit which is going to draw in air, and then the heat and the fire is going to go upward. This is pretty much a smokeless fire, or it's as close to a smokeless fire as you're going to get, and they're really cool. So that would be a good way to go if you're not using a stove. Plus it's going to minimize the sparkage coming off that fire because the fire is recessed underground or below ground. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me and checking out some of my shelter drawings. It's a lot of fun to go over this stuff with you. Please drop your comments below about designs that you have or things that you'd like to try using different materials, perhaps unique materials, found materials, recycled materials, or natural. Hey, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that link up top if you're already a subscriber. It's great to have you on board, and we'll see you real soon. Have a great day.